Morning everybody, how are y'all doing today? I'm doing fantastic myself because today we are going to be looking at some good old-fashioned hypocrisy. And of course, I am referring to Jim Ryan and Sony crying and moaning over the fact that Microsoft is likely going to be acquiring Activision soon, or at least, get the whole deal approved. Because, recently Brazil approved it and people were freaking out about that. So I think they're pretty close, if I'm not wrong, to getting it completely approved, but I'm not entirely sure. I'm pretty sure it's like the UK that's standing in the way right now. But anyway, I originally wasn't going to talk about this topic. You guys would know I didn't make a video on Jim Ryan's hypocrisy previously. Probably a bad idea. Probably could have gotten some views and subs off that. But anyway, putting that aside, I just wanted to go over some more recent hypocrisy because I thought it was going to be over after the last time, but of course not. Because if you'll look at the screenshot right here, you will see the absolutely ridiculous requests that Sony is making if Microsoft does in fact acquire Activision. And just looking at this screenshot, I have never seen such desperation and begging from a company before. And Saltiest Gaming, I've made some videos on him in the past. I have another one on him coming out soon because as of recording this video, I just checked his channel and he put out this terrible video regarding the acquisition 2 days ago. And like I've said previously, Saltiest Gaming, usually his likes to dislikes are actually pretty good, but this one is below 50%. It's like 400 likes and almost 500 dislikes. So I think that should tell you guys a lot. But anyway, getting back on topic, Saltiest Gaming, he was doing a live stream and he titled it "Microsoft Bends the Knee to the Market Leader in the Gaming Industry," obviously referring to Sony. And the irony is just out of the window with that title, saying Microsoft is bending their knee to Sony when Sony is literally on their hands and knees begging and crying for this acquisition to not go through. But yeah, like I said, we're gonna have a whole separate video covering that video, so I'm not going to talk about it anymore in this one. But going back to the screenshot, let's go ahead and read through these requirements that Sony has for Microsoft to acquire Call of Duty, which, Sony can't have requirements. They have no say in the matter. But this is what Sony is asking of Microsoft. We're going to go through these one by one. First of all, no extra content that is not available on PlayStation. I just have one question for Sony and Jim Ryan right now. Are you actually stupid? Are you actually out of your mind? That is a genuine question. No extra content that is not available on the PlayStation. I feel like I need to explain why this is so stupid because, we're talking about COD specifically, and people might be thinking, well, COD was never a PlayStation exclusive. What's the problem with this? Well, if you haven't been keeping up with COD in the last couple years, back in Modern Warfare 2019, that game, like the other Call of Duty games, is separated into three categories. You have the campaign, the multiplayer, and then if it's a Sledgehammer or a Treyarch game, it's the zombies, and if it's a Modern Warfare game, it's the Spec Ops. So basically imagine you're paying 60 or 70 bucks and you're getting three big game modes within the overall game. Guess what happened during Modern Warfare 2019? Sony paid Activision to make the Spec Ops mode a 1-year timed exclusive. Sony gave Activision money to keep PC players and Xbox players from being able to play an entire game mode. And Xbox and PC players, they didn't get to pay less or anything because, they're missing out on a bunch of content for the game. And they're still paying the same amount that PlayStation players were paying. PlayStation players were getting 100% of the content for the whole year, and they were paying the full price. Meanwhile, Xbox and PC players were getting 66% of the content for the first year and still had to pay full price as well. If Sony is actually crying saying that Xbox shouldn't be allowed to put exclusive content on their platform when they own the company, and meanwhile Sony was doing it when they didn't own Activision, then oh my god, dude. I think all my brain cells just jumped to their death. I'm pretty sure how my brain cells jumped to their death was they crawled up Jim Ryan's ego and then jumped down to his IQ. Nothing would survive that fall. That distance makes the Mariana Trench look like a puddle. But anyway, you know what? Let's keep going on here. No hardware enhancements better than on PlayStation. I'm gonna ask it again. Jim Ryan, are you out of your mind? The Xbox Series X is the objectively better hardware. It is objectively more powerful and has what, like a 20% GPU boost over the PS5? And you're asking for Microsoft to not make the game look and perform better on that console. Do I even need to explain why this is so idiotic? You are asking the more powerful console to not take advantage of the extra power. Like, you have actually got to be kidding me. I don't know what kind of mushrooms this man is eating, but whatever it is, I want him to hook me up with some, because good lord, I need to get a taste of whatever this dude's smoking that could get him to this thought process. Imagine being so desperate that you tell your competitor, hey, you guys have the more powerful hardware, but you guys aren't allowed to have the better versions of games with better graphics and frame rates. I don't even think a word in the English language exists that can describe how stupid this is. If anybody out there speaks a language besides English and they know a word that could possibly describe what this means, please let me know. But anyway, let's move on to the final bullet point now. No Xbox Game Pass benefits. For the third time now, I am going to ask, are you out of your goddamn mind? Imagine trying to say to your competitor, hey, yeah, you guys own this now, but you know what? You're not allowed to put this on your own subscription service, even though you will own it and can do whatever you want with it. I can't believe I'm even having to make this video. I'm sorry if you guys are dumber after watching this video, in all honesty. Like, I am actually sorry. I'm not even joking. I'm actually sorry if you're getting dumber by listening to this. Just imagine telling your competitor, yeah, you bought this, but you know what? You're not allowed to do what you want with it. You're not allowed to use it in a way that will benefit you. Imagine if one grocery store bought like an apple orchard, and originally the apple orchard gave apples to both stores, but now the other store was afraid that the store that bought it was gonna, exclusively sell the apples at that store. Imagine if the other stores said, yeah, you guys just bought that, but you know what? You can't, give your customers a discount on it. Even though you own it, you're not allowed to make better deals for your customers out of it. And this is so ironic when you think about the fact that, remember Jim Ryan, his original hypocritical statement was like, oh, Xbox isn't thinking about the PlayStation gamers. And now all of a sudden this dude is begging and crying for Microsoft to not have better performance on the better console, and he's begging for them to not give benefits to people who have Game Pass. I don't know, Jim Ryan, that doesn't really sound like thinking of the Xbox gamers, if you ask me. And honestly, in this whole situation, Microsoft is thinking of the PlayStation gamers, because they've offered to extend the contract for a few more years, even after they could make COD an exclusive if they wanted to. It's just so ironic and so hypocritical, and my god, it feels good to be making this video. It feels good just to be able to rant about all this. I'm not even mad or anything, it's just, I like to say my piece. But we're gonna end this video on a much more positive note. I just want to show you guys this screenshot real quick from the Xbox Twitter that I thought was really funny, where basically Xbox just made a joke about, check your candy this year, we found troll posts in ours and they won't stop repeating the same thing. Obviously referring to the PlayStation fanboys constantly spamming PlayStation better, PS5 better, whatever. Honestly, I thought that was pretty funny. I made a community post about it, and honestly, that was one of the few things that's made me legitimately laugh out loud recently. And my friends will tell you, it is not the easiest to get a good laugh out of me. But this did, and I'm very glad it did, because this has been a pretty stressful week at school, not gonna lie. But anyway, guys, that's gonna do it for this video. I just wanted to cover those topics real quick. Like I said in the last video, we're gonna have a bunch more videos coming out over the next week or two. Like I mentioned, we gotta cover Saltiest Gaming's latest god-awful video on this matter. And then we got other things coming up as well that I'm not gonna spoil right now. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't like it, subscribe if you want to see more, and I will catch you all next time.